Most people do this. They'll say, these are my personal standards. Your actions and your results will
That's right.
tell me what your personal standards really are. That's it. It's that simple. So
Yeah.
if you allow people to be dishonest to you and not act with integrity, then you don't value integrity. It's
Yeah.
that simple. It doesn't have anything to do with any day or your life or everything else. It's just a moment. And all of your life is flowing through that moment. So you hold yourself to those and everybody around you to your personal standards, and it works through your life, moment by moment, day by day, in all the things that you do.
Freedom doesn't happen by accident, it's built. Welcome to Freedom by Design, where we explore what it really takes to create more freedom in your life, your business, and your relationships. We're Josh and Paula Kerpan, and this is intentional living done right.
Okay, so we are back, Freedom by Design. We're going to talk today about personal standards and how your life is a reflection of your standards and your personal integrity. So you and I were having conversation about this. Was that just yesterday? Yesterday or the day before? About what you hold yourself to and the wins that you get personally when you keep your word to yourself. And so I thought this would be a really interesting episode to kind of flesh out and talk about, because I think a lot of times people are looking external for validation in terms of what they do and, you know, the work that they provide and the roles that they have. And a lot of times it comes back to, you know, what we do for ourselves and our personal integrity and the word we keep to ourselves. So speak to, I guess, this concept of personal integrity and your personal standards and why that is so important in our lives.
Well, it determines who you are. I mean, your standards is just the set of beliefs that you have. Like it is effectively your paradigm. People will confuse the things. Well, what determines your character? Well, it's the beliefs that you have. What do you think is important? So like one that comes up for me all the time is integrity, honesty, integrity, kind of the same thing as far as I'm concerned. When I'm asked about, my most important standards, that's probably number one. And I think it's really important for most people. I think if you asked anybody, they would say that they believe that it's really important. Like one of the most important things. And probably because most everybody has had an experience where they had a relationship of some sort with somebody who didn't act with integrity, didn't act honestly, and it's a disaster. You feel betrayed. Like you can't have the human experience without probably experiencing it. And you can't have any kind of a relationship with people who aren't honest and don't have good integrity. Right. Okay, so because once we realize that, I think we understand that, and we hold ourselves to quite a high standard in keeping our word with other people, which is a very good thing. I think that is aligned with truth. That's like a principle of life. I think it's really important. Oddly enough, we don't hold ourselves to the same standards when we're keeping our word to ourselves. So that is not really our personal standard then, if we're not willing to keep our word to ourselves. So we say, oh, yeah, my word is my bond. Handshake's better than a contract. A lot of people will say that. Then they'll turn around and they'll keep their word with whoever they give their handshake to, but I guess they don't shake their own hand. And maybe that's impossible. Maybe that's why I don't know if it's impossible to keep your word to yourself, but you have to. It's like, it is incredibly fundamental to your self-worth and your self-esteem. So personal integrity is one of the pillars of self-esteem. If you don't have it, you will have low self-esteem. If you have low self-esteem, you won't feel any worth from within yourself. You will seek validation from everything outside of yourself. You will look for the answers to all of your problems in something external, somebody else to fix your problem, a tool, a course, something like that to fix your problem. It's always going to be outside of you. The reality is none of the solutions to your problem come from outside of you. They all come from inside of you. There are outside things that can help you draw them out from within you. But until you realize that they're within you, you will not really truly solve any of your challenges in life. And you won't believe that they're within you if you have low self-esteem, which leads to low self-worth. You just think you're basically a worthless human being.
Right.
And if you won't keep your word to yourself, you're not all that wrong. So keep your word to yourself. How do you do that? Don't overpromise. don't overpromise and underdeliver. Underpromise and overdeliver to yourself. Start with that. We talked about it with willpower, which is, basically the fundamental muscle behind everything that we do. You cannot have personal integrity without willpower. You can't do anything because you have to control your thought in order to take the action that you want to take. That's it.
That's it. That's all. It is an interesting concept because I think I'm speaking to women and mothers, I guess, in terms of keeping our word to ourselves, because we are generally the last people on the list that we keep promises to. We over deliver, like you said, to everybody else. And I find that a lot of times we just don't, we're not honest with ourselves. We don't keep our word to ourselves. Is there any experience you've had in your life where your personal integrity was lacking, or that you realized that it wasn't what it should be and you had to build it? Because I feel like a lot of people start at a place where they're all of a sudden like, oh man, I'm just like in a spot where I need to change things, and they haven't been keeping promises to themselves and they realize that. But do you have any like personal experiences that listeners could relate to?
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I'll try and think of something specific, I suppose. But I would used to just accept it, right, as part of life. And part of it was, and this is probably a big part of most people's problems, is they overpromise what they're capable of. They overextend themselves, they spread themselves too thin, and then they can't keep a promise to themselves. And if you're going to break a promise, you will break the promise to yourself first and to others last. And that's probably, I don't know that is reasonable. I'd have to really think about that. That's probably not a good thing to do. You shouldn't break promises to anybody, which just requires you thinking ahead about what you're really capable of doing. And I'm thinking about this in very practical terms. People just fill their life up with so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. How am I going to add in working out every day when I already am too busy? Yeah, something will have to go. But what's most important to you? Well, I don't know why this is an idea that I just simply don't subscribe to, that I need to do everything all the time and our kids have to be in everything and doing everything and be good at everything. Like, that's not it. We just live a different life. We're very focused on the few things that we like to do and try and do them very well and keep that focus relatively small so that there is space for making additional promises to other people and ourselves when it's needed, and then being able to follow through on it.
Yeah.
But that is, I mean, I will still catch myself in a spot where, I promised to do something, whether it's to myself or somebody else, and you just are unaware of what's on your plate over the next week or whatever it is. So it's like, I got to walk that back. And then I'll get really angry with myself now in those situations. Probably should have a little bit more grace, but I have come to I despise dishonest people, and I try not to despise, but I despise dishonesty more than anything else, just because I want to have a relationship with everybody. I think everybody has got something to offer, but I refuse to have a relationship with anybody I can't trust, which certainly includes myself. And I've had that conversation with our kids, and when they have, and kids will test that boundary, right? And every kid at some point is just going to lie. And I've had the conversation now with both of our boys. Casey, it must be a 10-year-old thing, because it was Hunter just recently. And I said, look, I love you and I'll always love you, but if I can't trust you, we can't have a relationship. And that's it. So, and that hits pretty deep, and I'm not saying it to have a big impact. I'm saying it because I'm dead serious about it.
Yeah.
So I won't have a relationship with anybody that I can't trust. I've had lots of them, and it's just not worth it at any price, no matter what the potential benefit is.
I was on a coaching call yesterday with my mentor, and she was talking about personal standards a little bit, and talking about not only the personal standards we set for ourselves, but what we tolerate from other people and other groups of people. So what is your personal non-negotiables, but also what are you willing to tolerate, or what should you tolerate from other people? And she was talking about setting boundaries, because it's an all women's coaching group, but as women, we kind of tend to bend over backwards for other people at the expense of our own personal standard non-negotiables. And she said, when you live in that space, people just expect it from you, because they know that you're going to come through for them at the expense of your own personal standards. So I just wanted to speak to that, because it's kind of fit into what you were saying there. but it is also, your personal standards are connected to what you tolerate from other people and how they treat you. And if you don't kind of have that non-negotiable golden rule personal standards built up, inside of you for yourself, then other people can take advantage of you in that way because they know that you're going to bend over backwards for them.
Yeah, you can say, and most people do this, they'll say, these are my personal standards.
Yeah.
Your actions and your results
That's
will
right.
tell me what your personal standards really
Mhm.
are.
Mhm.
That's it. It's that simple. So if you allow people to be dishonest to you and not act with integrity, then you don't value integrity. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
Yeah.
If you allow people to take advantage of you and rely on you to solve all their problems, then you don't value the ability to create problem solving
Mhm.
in people, right? So, for me, I'll give people all of my time and all of my knowledge if they want it and are going to take it and use it for their good. If they want to use it just to solve a solution, then I know they're just going to come back the next time they have a problem.
Yeah.
It's why I'm a coach, not a consultant. I want to unlock in you the power to solve your own problems going forward. So you can be completely free of me and you understand the power that you have to solve your own problems as opposed to relying on somebody else to solve this problem. And then the next time you have a problem, you just have to go to the same person or somebody else or
Right.
whatever it is.
Right. That's a good lesson too for parents as well, like being able to teach and instill that in your kids. And I think a lot of times we expect a certain level of standard from our kids when we aren't actually willing to do that for ourselves. And it's something that I think if you're aware of, that you can kind of monitor and move yourself into that level of expectation too, because you have to do things and move through life in a certain way as a parent if you want your kids to do the same thing. And I think a lot of times we have these expectations for our kids, but we're not willing to do.
So give me an
those things,
example.
right? Well, I'm just thinking, like, if you want your kids to eat healthy, but you're sitting over on the couch eating ice cream or, whatever, or you want your kids to go play outside, but you're sitting watching Netflix, like it's not something that they are going to want to do, or it's going to feel like almost punishment for them because you get to sit.
No, your kids are going to inherit your personal standards.
That's right.
You will not install any different standards into your kids than that you don't currently have. And you can tell yourself that you have whatever personal standards you want. How you act will tell me and the rest of the world what your personal standards really are. And how your kids act will tell me how your personal standards are. They won't tell me anything about their personal standards because they're just inheriting.
They're a mirror of your
That's
personal
it.
standards. Yeah.
There's no two ways about it.
That would be a really good exercise, actually, to write down what you think your personal standards are, but then have, whatever the results are in your life or the things that are going on in your life, do those match? Right.
We do that. I mean, it's the part of the work that we do in our program.
Yeah.
It's exactly that.
Yeah.
Like what's the situation I'm getting a result in that I don't really like?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Yeah.
And I mean, people don't generally think about it at all.
Mhm.
But once you do, you start realizing that you think you believe certain things, but you don't. And your actions and your results will tell me exactly what you really believe, regardless of what you say.
Yeah.
Your actions speak much louder than your words.
If you've been listening to this podcast, you already know something. You're built for more. The 100X Breakthrough Program is built for leaders, business owners, and growth-driven individuals who are ready to stop playing at the edge of their potential and start operating at a completely different level. If you know you're capable of more, but you're still stuck, this is your next step. Let's schedule an instant impact coaching session and see if the 100X Breakthrough Program is the right fit for you. Go to kznsolutions.ca. That's kznsolutions.ca.
Yeah. So do you think that everybody needs to have a set of non-negotiable habits that they do every single day that kind of weave into their personal standards? Like in terms of reading, exercise, meditation, whatever that looks like. Like, do you think a routine like that is crucial for everybody?
I used to think that everybody just needs to find what works for them. I don't know if that's true anymore. I think that there seems to be some things that just work. So yeah, I think you need to control your mornings, period. There's no two ways about it. If you don't have at least, probably, like in the worst case scenario, you could probably get done everything you most need to get done in 20 minutes, but you should probably have an hour to yourself every morning to do the most important things. Like you should move your body 100% guaranteed. You should move your body. You should read something or consume something educational, some personal development of some sort every day. And you should do some sort of mindfulness, journaling and or meditation, visualization, prayer practice on a
Mhm.
daily basis. Those are non-negotiables for me. I I'm like sort of a live and let live. Figure out what works for you. What most people are doing doesn't work very well for them, and that seems to work well for everybody who has ever done it
Mm.
over the course of the history of time.
Yeah.
So it's got a pretty good track record. So yeah, I would
Mhm.
say everybody should do that. Those are kind of the daily non-negotiables, and you must control your mornings.
Yeah. Of that, I think that you have to make sure that it's not a rigid, like 2 hour thing that if you don't complete it, you feel poorly about yourself. And you can speak to that a little bit too, like during your busy seasons in farming, your morning routines are a little bit different in the winter than they are in like peak farming season, but you always make sure to have some time set aside for that. And as a mom, like there's lots of people who have newborns or toddlers or whatever, maybe their toddlers up in the night, whatever that looks like. And in our Rise and Thrive group, I have a little sheet in the back there on for shift workers or mothers of small children or whatever. It doesn't matter necessarily, like morning is ideal, but just being able to carve out something for yourself every single
Time
day.
doesn't matter. Time
Yeah.
is like I said, we don't understand time. First of all, we think we do. Time doesn't matter. There's two ways to measure time. Chronos time, which is how we generally measure it, which is, the grains of sand dripping through the hourglass. And people will say, well, I don't have an hour of time to give. It's not the hour that matters. It's the outputs. It's what do you do in that hour? So it's
Right.
not, and it doesn't, it is about getting those things done. It's about setting your intentionality for the day, having your nervous system regulated in a great place for the day, having your body ready for the day. It's about getting your mind, your body, and your soul ready for the day.
Right.
Like it's really simple. Those particular practices are really effective at that. They don't need to take an hour, but they should be done every single day. And even the idea of morning is completely different for everybody.
Mhm.
I'm not saying you have to do it at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
You can do it at 9 a.m. If you're a shift worker, you might do it at 7 p.m. That's all fine.
Yeah.
Time doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Get the thing done. The time matters when you know you have to leave the house for whatever you have to do to
Mhm.
be at your work at 7 a.m. Then you're going to need to get up at 6 or 5:30. That's what matters
Yeah.
in order to get it done.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the pushback that a lot of people have is like, oh, I don't have time to do that. I don't want to get up earlier to do that. Like, I have kids, I have this, I have that. But that just goes kind of back to making an excuse for it because, like you said, it can literally be done any time of day. It's just about
I'll
framing
push
your
back
mind.
on that.
Yeah.
The world will attack your day.
Yeah.
But the world is still sleeping. The world sleeps from like, generally speaking, I don't know, let's say 10 o'clock p.m. to 8 a.m. or 7 a.m.,
Yeah.
something like that. Like the world is quite quiet, and that's relative to where you are in the world, but it's quiet. You will have time to do the things that when the world wakes up, it will attack you and take over your day.
Mhm.
So you can't say you can just do it whenever. If you can get it done whenever, fine. You won't. That's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
won't. If you want to try and do it at 1 p.m. every day, you won't.
Right. So you think people should do it in the morning
Yes.
unless they're
Whatever your morning is,
Yeah.
you have to beat the world.
Right.
And if you've got young kids that wake up at 5, get up at 4:30. But like it's 30 minutes. What go to bed 30 minutes earlier. That's what people say. Well, I don't go to bed till 10. That's not my problem.
Yeah.
Go to bed at 8. There's nothing saying you can't go to bed at 8.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too light out. Grab a sleep mask. Now I sleep with a sleep mask on every night. Doesn't matter if it's dark or not. It's like I'm addicted to it. I can't hardly sleep without it.
Yeah.
But in Saskatchewan, it is light out until 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
And I'm going to be up at sometimes 4 or 5 in the morning.
Mhm.
And so I want to get to sleep
Yeah.
at 9. Like if I'm not in bed trying to get to sleep at 9, I start getting anxious, which isn't a very good thing either. But you want a good morning, it starts the night before.
I was just going to say that's always the thing we ask when people are like, oh, my mornings are so busy or so crazy. Well, what do your evenings look like? Because your evenings will kind of dictate what your mornings look like depending on what you're doing, right? And how late you're staying up and what you're consuming and the quality of your sleep and all those things. It makes a big difference in terms of what you do in the morning.
Yeah, 3-2-1 is a pretty good rule. No food 3 hours before bed. no work 2 hours before bed, no screens or technology 1 hour before bed. If you adhere to that, you'll go to sleep basically whenever you want. So set your bedtime, just work backwards from there, eliminate all those things from your life. But we eat supper pretty early.
Yeah.
Because there's lots of times at 8 o'clock or 8:30, I'm starting to like, can I go to bed yet? Kids are still up, and
Yeah.
so that's basically what keeps me up. But I'm ready to go to bed by then because I want to get on with the next morning. So just plan backwards from that time.
So how does implementing a morning routine, personal standards, habits into your day, how does that affect and trickle over into the rest of your life, into your business, into your relationships, into your parenting?
It doesn't have anything to do with any day or your life or everything else. It's just a moment. Like, and all of your life is flowing through that moment. So you hold yourself to those and everybody around you to your personal standards every moment. And it works through your life moment by moment, day by day, in all the things that you do. And your personal standards it is effectively who you are at this moment. You can change them whenever you want to,
Right. Yeah.
but you can't just decide I'm going to change it. You actually have to go through the work to change it subconsciously. But
I think too, the personal standards go back to how you view your self-worth and your self-identity a little bit, and the standards that you set for yourself and hold yourself to is a measure of how you view yourself and your worth.
self-image.
For me, and for me, it's been a huge. And I've had a morning routine, or like I've taken care of myself relatively well, even all through postpartum and having kids. But when I don't, I notice a massive difference in my mood, in the way that I move through the day, in my sleep, in, just my patience level with my kids, all of those things. If I don't take that time for myself every single day and hold myself to those standards, I notice a massive difference. You probably do too.
Yeah, I really don't. I hold myself to the same standards every day. And I mean, there's the odd morning that I don't get up, that I shut my alarm off and I get up whenever. Like this morning, last night I shut my alarm off. Didn't have anything to be up for this morning. I just was going to let my body do what it needed to do. I was up at 4.
You get up anyways, yeah.
And so it's part of who I am. That is my standard.
Yeah.
And it's your standard when you do it without an alarm. And there are days that I'll shut it off and sleep longer than that, but it's probably just because I've got particularly maybe stressed out, or tired for whatever reason, and that's fine. But you will know when it's your standard because it just happens. You don't think about it.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any book recommendations or resources that people could listen to or read about habit building and establishing that kind of personal standard?
Yeah, the 100X breakthrough experience.
I'm putting you on the spot. Yes.
Well, no, I mean, really, if you want to get serious about having a better life, there's no better way to do it.
Yeah.
No, people don't need another book. They don't need another podcast. They listen to them all. They have all the information. They just don't put it into use. It's because they don't fully understand. But if you want specifically, I mean, I know everybody likes Atomic Habits. I like Charles Duhigg's the Power of Habit, and the idea of a keystone habit in there. That's really good. Yeah, I mean, there's this knowledge is cheap. It's basically literally free. You can go and get all the knowledge in the world. I'm not holding anything back. We're not holding anything back in this podcast.
Yeah.
So pretty much over the course of this podcast, I'm going to tell you everything that I know, not holding anything back. And the very odd person will be able to take that and make the changes in their life. But the reality is most people won't. They need the system, the accountability in order to make those changes. So yeah, grab one book, or if you've read a book on habits in the past, just read it over and over and over and over and over again. And then it will get into your brain. You'll start building better habits likely. But that's it.
Or book a call with us and we can chat about it. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
One question to end off. If somebody listening today wants to start changing their life, implementing a morning routine, where should they start?
So we've got a
Rise and Thrive Challenge.
The Rise and Thrive Challenge. Yeah.
I mentioned it once before.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We ran it. It was a New Year's resolution thing, oddly enough, a couple of years ago. And it's great. So if you want to change your life, it starts in your morning. It just does. And the Rise and Thrive Challenge there's an ebook with it. It'll explain why it's important and give you a step-by-step guide to do that. So that'd be a great place to start.
Yeah, it's a free challenge. You can go to our website and check it out there. But that was really helpful. We had a big group of people that did it, and it's really cool to start kind of implementing that change with a group of people. So awesome. Thanks.
We appreciate you being part of Freedom by Design. If this conversation added value, help us spread the love. Take a second to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. The more intentional we become, the more freedom we create in our homes, our work, and our future. We'll see you next time. God bless.